Hey, so good morning. Welcome to my daily flow. And look, I want to share a story with you about this weekend. Now, for those of you who know me, or if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm an outdoor enthusiast. So this weekend I went hiking in this place called Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Now, this place is best known for having the highest peak in Texas, which is approximately 8,750 feet above sea level. It has other trails, hiking trails throughout the mountains, but I wanted to hike to the highest peak. I would tell you it's about 8 miles round trip, but it is a really strenuous hike for novice like me. Now, of course, for those with experience, you probably wouldn't find it as challenging. But for a novice, yeah, it is a strenuous, challenging hike. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details about the hike itself, but there was this one point on the trail, and the trail was pretty much well defined. But there was this one point on the trail where the trail just kind of faded, and I was close to the top. I'd probably say a good 75 yards maybe from the top, but the trail was a winding trail. So anyway, I got to this point where I looked to my right and the trail had kind of faded. I see nothing but rock. I'm not talking boulder type rock. I'm just talking about on the side of a mountain type rock. But I look to my left and I see a trail. But there is a barrier, man-made barrier, if you will, pretty much indicating, okay, don't take that trail. So I'm like, all right, if I go to the right, it's probably the right direction, but I decided to step over this barrier. Bad decision. Decided to step over this barrier and go to the left, right, just to follow that trail to see where it goes. So as I'm following that trail, it gets to a point where that trail runs off, it trails off, it ends. So I have a decision to make. I can either stop. Of course, I had to stop, but I could either go back the direction I came, or I looked up and I could see the trail above me, probably about 12 feet above me. I could see the trail that I was supposed to be on, because like I said, the trail winds throughout the mountains. So I was like, I could probably just scale this wall, get back on the original trail, and be on my way. I could see crevices in the wall. Now, I don't want to be overly dramatic, right? It's not like it was a steep incline that I would have to scale, but it was a pretty gradual slope for about 12 feet. But like I said, I could see some crevices where I could kind of grab onto and, scale my way up about 12 feet to get back onto the trail itself. So that's the option I took. I was like, okay, let me just scale this, get back on the trail, and then I'll be on my way. So I get halfway up. As I'm scaling, I get about halfway up, and I noticed that one of the crevices that I was going to grab was a little bit out of reach. I would have to lunge forward to grab it. So then I started thinking, okay, well, this was a really bad decision, right? Maybe I'm just going to go back to, scale my way back down to the trail and, follow it back around. So I made another bad decision. I looked down, and once I looked down, I froze. Because I noticed the trail below me was kind of narrow, and if I were to slip, then it probably wouldn't have broke my fall. I may have tumbled for a while. So I was like, all right, Jeff, you've gotten yourself in a predicament. All right. So I took a deep breath, I said a prayer, and I was like, okay, you got to get yourself out of this. So I stayed there probably about a good 30 seconds or so, and then I decided, okay, you got to go up. You can't go down. You have to freaking go up. So of course I lunged for that crevice, grabbed it, and I was, moving again up that slope, and this couple walks by on the trail, and the guy asked, yo, man, where in the hell are you coming from? I was like, man, I just took the wrong trail and I found myself in this situation. Now, he didn't ask me if I needed help. He just stated, oh, okay, well, once you get on the trail, or once you get back on the trail, if you just go to the left, the highest peak is probably within the next, I don't know, 25, 30 yards. And I'm thinking, no shit. I mean, I knew that much, but like I said, the guy really didn't ask for help, and I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. So I finally get to the top. And once I got to the top, not to the top, once I got back on the trail, I was contemplating, okay, hey, look, that was a pretty badass decision. Turned out favorable, but it was a pretty bad decision. Maybe you should just call it a day, walk back down the freaking hill. And, but to me, close is not good enough. Plus, I had on this shirt. If you know me, I always wear something with subliminal messaging. So I had on this shirt that said, never, ever, ever give up. So that was my motivation. Not only my motivation, but others' motivation as we were out there on Saturday hiking to the highest peak. Finally got to the highest peak. It was a cloudy day. I wasn't really able to get any great views because of the clouds. Body was cramping, so I just kind of sit and relax, try to work out the cramps, just so I can make my way back down the hill. So I say all that to say this. I always in my videos saying, stay safe out there. That puts stay safe in a whole new perspective for me, right? I mean, my battle buddies would probably tell me, you should have done a risk assessment. If you'd done a risk assessment, you probably wouldn't have made that decision, and you're probably right. But the moral of the story, hey, stay safe out there. Stay active. Stay tuned to my daily flow.